former VP
Yes.
ng Unilab nung panahon ko, 1990s. Sino bang ating mga fellow engineers? Hindi ka nag-imbita sa pitch eh. Dapat nag-imbita tayo. Mga tagal na salang kasama ko sa pitch eh. Sila Albert Samuela.
I'll start the video po.
Sure.
Okay. Sige.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I am Dr. Gladys Completo, the current president of the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering. So we are so privileged to have our speaker today. He's actually a good friend of mine. We've been friends since college, but I've known him since high school, from Philippine Science High School. So today we have Dr. Neil Concebido. And next slide, please. I'd like to introduce him. He's a seasoned academician and researcher, and he holds a doctorate in chemistry and chemical engineering from Hiroshima University and a master's in engineering in bioprocess technology from the Asian Institute of Technology and a BS Chemical Engineering degree from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. So Dr. Concebido was also a DOST Pictured Balik Scientist awardee last 2022. He is also an adjunct professor for PSM, UPLB, a Doctor of Chemical Engineering last 2022 to 2023. Neil is a process safety expert with over 16 years global experience with leading multinational manufacturers in Japan and has worked with plants in APAC, Europe, and North America. He's also certified by the Center of Chemical Process Safety, or CCPS, of AICHE as a PS professional. He has extensive experience in developing and implementing a corporate PSM framework and other critical safety programs. He is a PHA facilitator and trainer. He is a corporate auditor for plant safety and engineering project safety. So again, let us all welcome Dr. Neil Concebido, who will give a talk entitled, can I have the slide again, please? My Balik Scientist Journey, Promoting Process Safety Management, or PSM, in Philippine universities. Okay, take it away, Neil.
Thank you, Gladys. Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Hindi
It's
pa
coming up.
naglo-load, Neil.
Not yet.
Okay.
Pero may space na.
Okay, you got it?
Okay na po.
Okay na.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, again, thank you for the introduction, Gladys. I'm really grateful to be invited here to speak with you. It's indeed an honor. And I can see some of my, some people that I know, former students and perhaps old friends in UPLB. So again, thank you for the invitation, Gladys. And as Gladys mentioned, I'll be talking about my journey as a balik scientist back in 2022 through the DOST PSHERD. And I guess many of you are familiar with the balik scientist program of DOST. I just knew that I just know today that si Al is the president of the newly formed balik scientists, former balik scientists or current balik scientists. And perhaps some of you are also planning to become one. So I hopefully my presentation and my engagement will give you an idea of how I did how to become a balik scientist and what I did for my program. So in my BSP engagement, I promoted PSM, which I will talk more about later, in 3 of the top universities in the Philippines, of course, UPLB, DLSU, and UST. And actually, I've never been a scientist for quite a long time already, so I don't really consider myself as a balik scientist, but rather, since I'm a process safety professional, I'd rather be called as a balik safety professional. Okay, so for BSP. All right, so let me start by giving you an overview of PSM. Okay. So process safety management, or PSM, is a management program for keeping highly hazardous chemicals in containment and ensuring that the risks are controlled. So take note of the underline and bold face phrases: keeping highly hazardous chemicals in containment and risks being controlled. And when we talk about highly hazardous chemicals, we actually mean those chemicals that can be toxic, flammable, explosive, reactive, or can generate combustible dust. Because when you have combustible dust, there is also potential for having flash fire or explosion. Now, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, and I guess many of you are as well. Nag-review pa nga ako nung first 10 seasons sa Game of Thrones before I watch the House of Dragons. But anyway, so we can liken highly hazardous chemicals to a dragon. Okay? And of course, we don't want it to be on the loose. Diba nasa dungeon siya doon sa Game of Thrones. And we need someone like Daenerys or Jon Snow to control the dragon. So that's what PSM is. So PSM is to Jon Snow or Daenerys, and the dragon is your highly hazardous chemicals. So it's actually keeping the dragon under control, or keeping the highly hazardous chemical in the pipe, in the reactor, in the vessel. Okay, because when you lose containment, then problems will arise. So why do we want to keep highly hazardous chemicals in containment? Because if you lose containment of such chemicals, these events might happen. You could have fire, explosion, or toxic leaks, which may lead to multiple injuries and fatalities. You could have environmental damage and perhaps delay in the production and asset losses in the plant or any facility. Now, in the industry, we have the industrial safety program, and in some cases, for certain plants that handle process with highly hazardous chemicals, they divide it into process safety and occupational safety. And what you can see here in this diagram is a comparison between process safety and occupational safety, or sometimes they call it workplace safety or personal safety. Comparing the frequency against the consequences of safety incidents. So what is normally monitored in factories or manufacturing plants are the incidents involving slips, trips, falls, cuts, and burns. So if you look at this diagram, these are the incidents that really have lower consequence, but they happen all the time. They are the incidents that you often see in the industrial operations. But when you talk about process safety incidents, these are the incidents that involve fire, explosion, and toxic releases, and could have really severe consequences, catastrophic even. And these are the incidents that don't happen often, and sometimes when you're working in the industry, it may not happen under your watch. Now, how catastrophic or how serious can such incidents be? So here are examples of process safety incidents that have happened all over the world since I think they started the recording such incidents. And I only included here the consequences of death and injury because to me that those are the most important. Of course, you may have also environmental damage and production and equipment losses. And I'd like to direct your attention to the third incident, which happened in Bhopal, India, involving the release of methyl isocyanate, which instantly killed 2,000 people in the vicinity of the plant. So those are those are the people living in the community around the plant, not knowing what the plant has, and struck them by surprise. And instantly, 2,000 of them perished, and then more than 10,000 after the incident, and more than 500,000 were afflicted with chemical related illnesses. Also, there's this incident here in Japan, fourth from the bottom, since I'm here in Japan, which was a triple disaster of an incident, and they never predicted that such kind of incident would happen. I was able to visit that area actually because my son worked there before. And then in the Philippines, I tried to gather some data, which is quite difficult in the Philippines. Rarely you'd find such incidents being published. So here are some of these incidents. And then process safety incidents or incidents involving highly hazardous chemicals don't only happen in the industry, they also happen in laboratories. And here are some examples happening in various parts of the world. Now, the good news about this is that this process safety incidents, laboratories incidents, or really any chemical safety incident can be prevented or its consequences mitigated. And that is through PSM, Process Safety Management. Parang nagpo-promote talaga ako na. Anyway, so whenever you have the very critical first step in implementing PSM is conducting what is called as a process hazard analysis, or PHA. And this is something that I would talk about, which is what my students, my thesis advice did for their thesis. So whenever you have a process with highly hazardous chemicals, or HHC, the first thing that you need to do after gathering all the pertinent and relevant information is to do a process hazard analysis, or PHA. And basically, a PHA is a brainstorming activity meant to predict what can go wrong in a process. So if we look at this diagram, the process being represented by the flash, you try to predict what can go wrong, how bad can the consequences be, and how often can it happen. And taken together, the likelihood and the severity of a hazard scenario, then you will have an estimate of the risk in a process, which is what we are after, because based on the risk, okay, based on the risk, you will try to determine based on the risk, you will try to determine the controls that are necessary for the process to make it safer. And the determination of the controls that you need to implement is based on what is called as the hierarchy of controls shown in this inverted pyramid. So first would be the inherent safety approaches, which I would discuss in the next page. And then you have engineering controls such as relief valves, fire suppression systems, bonds, dikes, and other engineering controls, active engineering controls. Then if you have thought of all the engineering controls that are possible and are reasonable and practical, then you think about administrative control. So these are the programs that you can implement to further reduce the risks in the process, such as management of change program, safe work practices, SOPs with all the responses that the operators or the users need to do whenever an incident happens, emergency response procedures, and mechanical integrity program, which involves periodic maintenance and preventive maintenance for safety critical equipment. And then the last line of defense, it should not be the first, okay? Because sometimes people think that whenever they wear PPE or personal protective equipment that they are safe. So that should be the last line of defense, which protects the person or the user. So let me talk a little bit about inherent safety. Bagal ang pag-move. Okay. Close screen video ko. Mukhang naglalag because of the... Because of the video. Okay. Yan. So, in inherent safety, let me show everything. Okay. So the inherent safety approaches consists of approaches that you implement to eliminate the risk or to eliminate or reduce the risk or eliminate the hazard rather than adding on safeguards and controls. So these are built-in safety controls. So whenever you have a process with a highly hazardous chemical, whether it's an industrial scale process or laboratory scale process, you ask yourself, can you eliminate the hazardous chemical, the toxic, flammable, explosive, reactive, or could generate combustible dust type of chemical? Or could you substitute it with a safer chemical? If not, can you reduce the amounts of such highly hazardous chemical? Or could you use milder conditions such as lower temperatures or pressures? Or could you simplify the process so that human error would be unlikely? Or could you reduce handling by people? Same way, human error would be reduced. Or could you segregate the process so that the operators or the users are sufficiently away from a process when an incident happens? Like, separating the control room from the process. Now, if you can answer a yes to any of these questions in order, then you have reduced the risk in the process. But if you're not able to answer any of these questions with a yes, then your process remains to be a high-risk process. And that is the time that you have to go to the plant leadership or management and think about whether you should terminate the process, redesign so that the risks would be acceptable. Okay. Now, I talked about PHA, and basically there are actually several methodologies that you can use for PHA. And I wanted to discuss this because these are the techniques that my PhD students use for their thesis. So there are three of the common PHA methodologies in use in the industry: the what-if analysis, FMEA or failure mode and effects analysis, and HACCP or hazard and operability study, which is the gold standard for the oil and chemical industry. So PHA is basically a systematic and orderly brainstorming activity intended to predict the hazard scenarios in the process. And it is participated in by a team of technical and operations experts, including scientists and engineers, like many of the people in this session, chemists and chemical engineers and other engineers. First, in the what-if analysis, the team brainstorms about what can happen in the process using what-if questions formulated by the PHA team. What if this happens? What if that happens? Okay. Now, FMEA, which is originally used by the quality department of many industries. I think it was used initially by the U.S. Air Force, if if my memory serves me right. So the brainstorming revolves around the failures of equipment or equipment systems in the process, like pump systems, or let's say um, control systems for your process. And then finally, HACCP, which is actually originated by my former company, which is no longer in existence, the Imperial Chemical Industry. I don't know if you've heard of Trevor Kletz, who is the known reputed to be as the father of process safety management. He used to work for ICI, and ICI is where I learned most of my knowledge about PSM. So with HACCP, what you try to do is brainstorm around guide words. So there are standard guide words that the methodology use, like more or less, reverse, and so on and so forth. And you pair it with a parameter relevant to the process, let's say temperature or flow or pressure. Okay. So to perhaps illustrate more clearly their differences, let us look at a sample node in a process. So in such methodologies, we try to divide a certain process into manageable sections or manageable nodes. Okay, so that's what a node is. So let's say we look at a storage tank in a tank farm. So perhaps a process or an activity or a process would be uploading bulk delivery of the hazardous chemical. So if we use what if, again, the team tries to formulate questions that may or questions regarding hazardous scenarios that may occur, like what if the tank is hit by a forklift, which is quite likely in an industrial setup. So maybe the tank will collapse and the chemical will leak, and the impact would be the plant workforce or perhaps the community around it, or could result to environmental damage. And there are no safeguards, and so the team has to recommend safeguard or controls, like installing guard posts to protect the tank. But if you use FMEA, let's say the fuel pump from the tank, the delivery truck fails, or maybe the pump that supplies the tank fails, and the fuel could leak and ignite, especially if there's an ignition source like the delivery truck. Fire and explosion could result, and perhaps a safeguard would be a relief valve or a shut-off system for the pump to stop the leaking, to stop the pump to prevent leaking. And perhaps a recommendation would be periodic testing of such relief valve. And if you are gonna apply HACCP, which is normally implemented when you have a mature process diagram, process and instrumentation diagram. So you combine one of the guide words, more, and an applicable parameter, flow. More flow could mean there's a tank overflow in the storage tank. And you can also think about how can this happen. And then same impact as in what if, and perhaps the safeguards, the existing safeguard is the high level alarm and pump interlock and the bond around the tank. And perhaps the recommendation as an add is the periodic testing of the interlock system, and maybe of the bond as well. Okay, so yeah, this is just a brief overview of how each method is performed. Okay, and these are the methods that were used by the thesis students that I mentored during my Balik Scientist engagement. Now let me switch gears, giving you an idea of what I of my engagement as a balik scientist. So since 1975, when the program was since the inception of the program, there have been over 600 balik scientists, and it was signed. It was how do you say, improved through the signing of the Republic Act to institutionalize the Balik Scientist program back in 2018. Okay. And the Balik Scientist program has been in my radar since a few years back. And because I really wanted to give back and pay forward in my own little way for all the scholarships that I have received, starting from Pisay. And I saw that some of you here are my schoolmates, like Gladys and Al. And also for the scholarship that I received when I was in UPLB. So I also wanted to share my knowledge on PSM after learning all the things that I know about PSM. I wanted to share it with chemical engineers. At that time, we didn't have PSM in our program. And I strongly believe in this PSM principles, and also believe that chemical engineers could play critical roles in implementing PSM in the industry. However, at the time, it was challenging for me to travel back home for a BSP engagement. But during the pandemic period, I think the silver lining that we saw was that we became more creative in doing things that we usually did before. And we realized that we can be more productive than before, right? And one of this is doing webinars and lectures online to share what I know about PSM. And after sharing some of what I know through some webinars, I applied to the chemical engineering department as a virtual adjunct professor. So I was accepted as an adjunct professor for PSM then. Now in 2022, the DOST, because of the challenges for traveling back to the Philippines. Sorry about that. They offered the option of being totally online for the BSP, the Balik Scientist program. And I applied for that option, and I became one of the, I think, 22 virtual Balik scientists out of the 33 total Balik scientists at the time. Okay. So initially, my engagement was purely virtual, but after all the travel restrictions were lifted, the DOST allowed me to travel in 2022. So at this point, I'd like to show a brief video that was shown in DOST CNCCAT as an ad through the now defunct CNN Philippines. But thank you to DOST and PShare for giving me this chance to be in a cameo, which I was able to show my mother before she passed away last year. So Feb, could you share the video? Yeah.
Students and researchers do a lot of activities for R&D to make our lives better. However, we should not undermine the safety of these people. So what I do is to share what I know about process safety management. Identifying what could go wrong in a process. Pwede ba magkaroon ng fire? Pwede ba magkaroon ng toxic leaks or explosion? Nothing that we do is worth being hurt for. Neil Concebido, Balik Scientist.
Okay, I'll share back my slide. So I wanted to show that video specifically for the quote was shown there. nothing we do is worth being hurt for. So I learned that from a colleague from ICI, but I kind of modified it a bit to these. Nothing we design, invent, discover, or operate is worth being hurt for. So this is intended actually for engineers and scientists, and this has been my message to my students and during the webinars that I have conducted. So as engineers and scientists, we should not just be focused on coming up with an engineering design that is efficient and productive, or with great discoveries and inventions that could change the world and make us famous. We need to make sure that such designs or creations are safe. Because I'm quite sure that there's nothing more regretful and that would bring us the greatest guilt when the process or equipment or our invention or creation would result to a debilitating injury or even death to our colleague or anyone would try to use or operate what we have built or created. So this is what I've been conveying to my students and during the speaking engagements that I have had on PSM. And hopefully for this presentation, this would be your biggest takeaway, and that you would always remember in your profession as scientists and engineers. Okay. All right. So during my PSM or Balik Scientist engagement, one of the things that I did and came up with was a course syllabus for PSM for the Department of Chemical Engineering in UPLB. So I submitted the syllabus to them. I think it's been 2 years. I'm not sure at what stage it is at right now, but at least they have something working for them. And the next is I mentored chemical engineering students in their theses. And the challenge was the students didn't know anything about PSM or PHA. And they would have to do their PHA virtually because at that time as well, they weren't allowed to go to the campus. So, and I also have a day job. So what I did was after my office hours or over the weekend, I would give them a PHA crash course. Bearing in mind that they have very little or nothing at all in terms of background in PSM and PHA. And we also did some mock PHAs, virtual PHAs during our sessions. And I also took the opportunity to share with them some lessons in life because and sometimes I would share lessons from books that I was reading at the time, like this one here. I don't know if you have, and any one of you have read this. So if there's anything that you need to do, really need to do in a day, try to think of it as a frog and that you have to eat that. And you need to get done with it. So you need to eat that frog as the very first thing that you will do in the morning. And to them, it was their thesis that they had to do. Also, recognizing that they have very little experience in the industry and in PSM. So I invited some experts or professionals from the industry and other institutions in other countries. So it's shown here in the bottom part of this picture are experts from the US. This guy beside me, I don't know if you can see my, let me, arrow, okay, arrow. You can see the arrow, right? So this is from the US. And then the rest, her and this guy here are based in Dubai in the Municipality Environmental Office of Dubai. So the intention, and there's another one from the Philippines working from Fluor Daniels Yeah. And she actually inherited the role of being a thesis advisor for students who wanted to do PHA after this first set of students. So I asked them to be part of the virtual PHAs to give their inputs during the PHA sessions. And also, since a very important and convenient way to record PHA sessions is to have this PHA software. So I convinced several alumni of UPLB Chemical Engineering Department, and were also members of the DOST Scholar Society in UPLB, to donate this PHA works from Primatex, which the students use for their thesis. So we donated it back then, so it's still available for students and faculty to use. And then this is a picture of the defense of the first group, which did the PHA on the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant. And when I was able to visit the Philippines, we were able to have a plant tour of the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant and take a look at what the students studied for their thesis. So here are the my students are their topics. The first group worked on the PHAs for the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant using the different methodology. So whenever they did their session, the specific person would be the specific owner of the thesis was the PHA facilitator, and then the rest were the members. I also participated in their sessions, sometimes during my midnight, and the experts that we invited as well. And then the other group work on the virtual PHA for acetone production process, and they use a PNID that they got from the internet. So here's the chance that I got to meet my students, and we were able to prove that none of us were AI generated. And of course, being chemical engineers, we studied how well San Miguel did their fermentation for their famous product. We were able to produce papers as well, as shown here, and they were accepted in local and international conferences. However, we have to withdraw the submissions because of the lack of funds for the students, which is unfortunate. And I would like to mention as well that one of my students got the third place for this 2022 Magsaysay Future Engineers and Technologies Award for her thesis using what did she use? What if for the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant. And then I'm very happy as well to have one of them working as an actual process safety professional. So she was accepted by Saltegra, consulting firm based in the US. The guy that I showed you earlier is actually the president for Saltegra. So I'm very happy for her, because I think this is truly gratifying to see somebody being inspired to follow what you taught them, right? And then when I visited the host, I did a series of lectures like this one on PSM and inherent safety for the chemical engineering faculty and students. And at the time, I also gave a two half day workshop, hands-on workshop on PHA for the Department of Chemical Engineering in UPLB. And what I was so glad about as well is that my thesis advisees were the ones who led the group as PHA facilitators. You can see them showing their PHA works. and the other one was working as a scribe. Okay, so these are faculty members and students of chemical engineering. During the same period, I did a web lecture for CAPS, College of Agriculture and Food Science, and did laboratory safety inspection as well. So this is the lecture for the faculty, research, and lab personnel. And I extended the lecture series to UST for the chemical and chemical engineering faculty and students as well. Then I continued to do webinars such as these, sponsored by UPLB ChemSoc for science high school students. I think they invited like almost 200 science high school students on laboratory safety for this particular session. We also did a virtual internship, which I thought was how do you say, gratifying as well. So this is a week-long virtual internship for UPLB chemical engineering undergrads. For my part, I talked about industrial safety, PSM, inherent safety, and combustible dust safety. So I also invited other professionals from the industry. So I guess for those of you who are based abroad, this is something that you might consider as well. Hopefully they're still giving virtual internship for such students. So to share your expertise wherever you're working to such young chemical engineering and other UPLB students. I was also invited to be part of the second, I think this is the second ISAIAT, to talk about PSM and the role of engineers and in its implementation. So this conference is sponsored by UPLB College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technology. And before the year ended, last year ended, I was also invited by KKP Southern Tagalog to talk about inherent safety strategies in green chemistry. Okay, I think many of you in the audience are part of this organization. And finally, during my host visit, I did laboratory safety inspections for UPLB Chemical Engineering, for CAPS, even for Institute of Chemistry through Gladys. I also visited the laboratories in Erie, UST, and the LSU. And so these are the laboratories that I inspected. Particularly tiring was the laboratories in CAPS. I didn't know that they had so many laboratories. And then after that, before my day ended, I had to carry out a lecture. Prior to my visit, I created this laboratory safety inspection checklist. It's not a typo. It should be lab LB. LB is for LB, Los Baños. That's why it's L and B are capitalized. So I gave this checklist that I created in iAuditor and sent it to them that they can use prior to my visit, and anytime that they want to do the inspection. If any one of you would be interested, I can certainly provide this checklist to you as well. Yeah. And also based on this inspections that I did, I'm preparing an article on entitled Safety Evaluation of Labs in Philippine Universities. And I guess that's it. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. And I'm now open for any questions or comments that you may have.
Very good. Nice one, Neil. Actually, I'm just vibrating my UP System Tech Transfer Office. We're discussing the testing of methanol for lambanog, prevent poisoning. Maybe you can do a PHA with your UPLB team on lambanog production. Because I'm more for trying to capacitate more science-based and technology-supported businesses. Yan ang next stage ng tech transfer sa Pilipinas. I've been doing it for 12 years now here. Kailangan yung mga business na, and safety is paramount kasi definitely, especially in my area of medical devices, we're very highly regulated. But that doesn't mean other industries like the alcoholic industry. Maraming namamatay sa lambanog na maraming methanol.
Yeah.
Kaya kailangan natin ng assessment yata doon. Okay, I think I don't know if Gladys left already for his CHED focus group, but thank you again, Neil, for a very informative. I think you have a lot of potential clients in the Philippines in the industry beyond the laboratories that you've inspected. I think we should capacitate the not only UPLB but the other universities that you've actually already engaged in training and learning. I'm already also thinking about doing your coursework for not only the chemical engineering elective, probably in junior and senior year of chemical engineering. Wala tayo niyan eh. So I think we should incorporate it. We can talk to Lydia Tansinsin, probably was part of the board of examiners for chemical engineering, and sila Secboy, in order for you to get accelerated adoption for that matter. But I see a lot of directions because I'm also in education, mainly for workforce development. So I interact with TESDA and even high school. When you showed high school, I also have senior, junior high. I can see an initial patikim introduction to process safety management. Maybe a module, siguro. I have a foundation that develops module for life cycle analysis and plastics. Maybe we can do a module, a short module for process safety. And maybe we can use local examples like lambanog production. That's why process safety management is important. Para walang nalalason, walang namamatay sa mga naglalasing.
Yeah, we need to make sure that there won't be any fire explosion or
Also, yeah, actually that's
people
another
getting
area that
overdrunk.
we need one process safety in Ilocos because I was part of the USAID Stride project for 9 years. We funded a 40 million facility for NEPA alcohol from the northern part of Cagayan, Apari, and the plant is in Ilocos, Lawang, with now the CHED commissioner, si pangalan ng presidente ng DMMSU. So we need to have a process safety assessment. Nung pinakita mo yung balik scientist mo, si Fiorello Abenes, is one of our Stride kasabay yung nagbalik scientist. He was very focused on the NEPA hull production in Ilocos. Maybe we need to do a process assessment there as well. So on the side, siguro we can talk about beyond the laboratories and universities that you've capacitated. I'm more for using your expertise, Neil, for our industries, local and both international as well. But start with the local industries that we have, not only for alcohol nga, and because I think the explosive aspect of alcohol production needs to be properly administered and assessed before you can implement proper safety guidance.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that after.
Sige. I'm opening the floor. Any questions, guys? I don't see one on the chat box, but you can also raise your hands. I have a big computer here. I can see the gallery. If you raise your hand, I can call on you. But definitely, this is the kind of specific expertise that we wanted to lodge in the Balik Scientist program, Neil. I'm organizing various sectors, maybe similar to the National Academy of Science. We're divided in engineering sciences, biological, and health sciences. You can be part of our engineering science division of the Philippine, of the Balik Scientist, focused on process safety. So, ganyan yung tuloy-tuloy na engagement natin. Yan. Pareho lang tayong Pisay DOST scholar, kaya nagbabayad ng utang. At ako, bayad na ako. 10 taon na ako dito eh. after being in the US for 24 years.
Bayad na rin ako actually kasi after graduation, I taught in UPLB twice.
Okay. Sige. Pero
Repeat
ganun
as
pa man,
one of my students.
yeah, never too good to pay it full forward and
Yeah, of
manganak
course.
yung mga anak natin para maging lolo na tayo. Mukhang anak mo si Renil eh. Renil, ano ba? May tanong ka ba? Sa tatay mo? Sa iyong teacher?
So yeah, may
Yes,
tanong siya
sir.
sa chat. Yeah.
Apa. Kasi here in the United States, definitely safety is taken seriously. Right now, since I'm working on global operations in a global pharmaceutical company, a healthcare company, pwede po bang gamitin yung mga materials na na-develop ninyo sa mga academic institutions as balik scientists towards industry certification? Pwede nilang gamitin yun for certifications later on pag nagtrabaho na sila halimbawa sa industry or sa academe.
Okay, yeah. So ganito. Yung PSM certification, actually merong at least tatlong bodies na nagbibigay ng process safety professional certification at saka yung isa naman meron yata PSM auditor at saka yung PHA facilitator. So sa US where I got my certification from the American Institute of Chemical Engineers, CCPS. So yon take ka ng test to get your certification. I think yung IChem ng saan ba yung base? England or Australia? Meron din silang
England
ganun.
pa, British.
Then meron mga consulting firms like Primatech and I think there's another one who gives such certification. So sa US sila nagbibigay at saka sa England. Pero sa Pilipinas, unang-una, yung PSM standard, wala pa tayong ganon. Although PICHE, I don't know if anyone here is from PICHE, they tried to come up with the guidelines, pero ayoko muna pag-usapan yun. Medyo...
Baka yung industry organization siguro, SPIC, might be able to fund that. But again, it is something that will regulate them. But better safety. So maybe SPIC and PICHE can do it. Pero I think the SPIC is the Organization of Industry Chemical. So the DAO, lahat yan gusto naman ng ano. So I think we can talk. I talked to Bobby Batumbakal, who's now chairman, executive director of Makati Business Club. He's former DAO Philippines, but he's former president of SPIC as well. So sige, and that's another area, Ranil, siguro tulungan mo tayo.
And then of course, like food science and technology institutions, they have HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control points. That's also another starting point para po may international certification yung mga estudyante pag later on naka-apply po yung mga natutunan nila sa mga modules sa universities. Pagpunta po nila sa industry or academia, pwede nilang gamitin yun as exemplars para sa kanilang certification.
Yeah, baka siguro FDA pero FNRI kasi Food Nutritional Research. Baka pwede silang gumawa. FDA lang mag-implement or DEBI. FNRI.
That's on the point of view po ng pharma kasi nandun po ako sa space na yun.
Very nice.
Thank you
yeah,
po.
Bottom line, walang PHA certification or PSM certification sa Pilipinas because wala pa naman talagang PSM standard to start with. However, yung kunwari mga estudyante na in-advise ko for their thesis, sabi ko sa kanila, ilagay niyo sa inyong resume yung PHA facilitation experience. Kasi if you look at job openings, even in LinkedIn, kasama yun sa hinahanap. May experience ka ba sa PHA or sa risk assessment, process safety? Kahit na virtual and mock lang yung kanilang experience, that's still a substantial training. In fact, a PHA training that I gave probably costs almost $2,000 per person. So people are paying for that just to get that kind of training.
And I think
Actually
having
po,
more
yung
people,
2,000,
Neil,
oh, go ahead po. Yung $2,000 point, that's not much compared to the risk of losing millions of dollars when an incident happens. Kasi
Well, it
some
doesn't-
companies also have bad reputation. So, yung consumer base po nila is also affected. Hindi po tatangkilikin yung produkto pag alam nilang hindi safe yung kanilang mga working conditions.
Right. Pero
Apo.
that's just a beginning. I mean, even if you get your certification, if you don't apply it, and then if you cannot convince the decision
Bosses.
makers in
The
your company, which is very common, and much less yung sa laboratories sa Pilipinas or other university laboratories. When I did my laboratory safety inspection, there's so much to desire for, and commonly na binigay na feedback sa akin is the lack of budget allotment for such equipment, training, or anything at all. So right now, sad to say, like in UPLB, they have this safety committee, which is just doing firefighting training annually, but I guess that's not well attended at all. Pero that's just a very small portion of chemical safety. Ano yun eh? After the fact na yun eh, after the incident has happened eh. So how can you prevent such incident to happen?
Okay. I think, Neil, you hit a good point though when you said that your training program helps in employability. To me, that's another way we can help the country by having more PHA certified, PSM certified chemical engineers. Their employability gets better. Then they take the learning in their workplaces. So that to me is a workforce development play, which is beneficial right away kasi kaya ako na-hire kasi may PHA ako. Then you did your part already. Yan na yung anak mo na sinasabi ko. yung mga natutunan mo, binigay mo sa mga anak mo, tinuruan mo sila, now they're getting employed and their industries are better for it. So I think we can expand your modules, which Ranil also intimated. So I think definitely let's work. We'll form a team on PSM adoption in the Philippines, and both of you are going to be members. I will try to get in the UST to continue, and the PRC also, so the Divya at Sinsin, which is I interact with them quite a bit on the chemical engineering PRC part that we can impose on it and PCHE, of course, kasi magkadikit yan eh. And the industry also, we can get the SPIC to be part of the conversation in order how to capacitate more chemical engineers and chemists who are actually in the first line. Para rin sa kanila to eh. Buhay nila yung matatamaan dyan eh. So I think they will probably be better off, be well-informed, well-taught, and possibly able to manage their own respective posts in their various industries. So I think you have work to do. Kala mo, tapos ka na.
I hope so kasi I'm actually looking for work eh.
Yes. Okay, bibigyan ka namin. Huwag ka mag-alala. But the way we do it kasi in the National Academy, Neil, we form a transdisciplinary team coming from industry, government, academia, and even entrepreneurs to be part of the solution. Hindi lang iisa. Para lahat ng pwedeng tumulong, makakatulong with one topic in mind. PSM lang yan, pero 5 yung membro. Yung binanggit ko sa iyo, SPIC, ERC, DOST, FNRI, maybe FDA, lahat yan kailangan isama sa usapan para matuloy at maging sustainable. Kung meron kailangang negosyo, like a spin-off company that will teach PSM as a certifying body, that can be part of it. So I need the entrepreneurs like Ranil here to start a company within UPLB, yung mga tinuruan nyo, to have a spin-off company all focused on process safety. So, yun na yun. That's part of your product. Hindi ka lang nagturo, nag-spin-off ka pa ng kumpanya na magtuturo at mag-i-implement ng assessment at mag-certify. O, ayan na, may negosyo ka na dito. Hanap ka na lang ng tao. Sige, sino pa ang gusto magtanong kay Neil? Anybody else? Ay, so kanina, Ben Pexon. Ben. Sa inyo ba dyan, sa inang lupa or your various agri-tech, nangangailangan ba kayo ng PHA assessment or PSM for safeties in pesticides and fertilizer production, considering Bhopal is the worst ever chemical disaster in the world. I was just starting in my chemical engineering yata ng panahon yun. Next to Chernobyl, Bhopal was the end all on be all of process safety. So also maybe in your experience in Unilab, is process safety top and foremost, which I think it is. I'm gonna ask Joey Ochave and Boots Razo if they were here. Anybody else?
Well,
Want to
I
ask
just
Neil?
I just want to recognize, nandito pala yung estudyante ko si Denise, yung sinabi ko sa inyo na hinire ng Saltegra, and I think kaya rin siya na-hire kasi na nandun sa kanyang resume na meron siya experience sa PHA sa PSM. And
Siya ba yung nanalo sa Ramon Magsaysay?
hindi, the other student.
Okay.
So naging
Recognizing them again next week naman. At ang mga Ramon emerging engineers. Hindi nga lang ako kasali sa sa judges kasi masyadong mabusisi. They're good candidates. I'm glad you have one awardee in that area already. Anybody else, guys? We have another 15 minutes before I need to leave also. Speak now if you wanted to further collaborate with Neil and Renil. Ako nakikita ang nakataas. Marge, nandito ang ating Vice President ng PAASE. May gusto ka ba itanong kay Neil? May safety issues ka ba o gusto mo magsalita siya sa South Carolina next year? Imbitahin mo. Yata mag-imbita muna ni Marge. Nakita ko siya sa likod. Ano ba nandito sa audience na pwede kong tawagin? Voluntold. Mahihain ang Pilipino kasi nila.
meron meron nagtanong
Ayun. Hello, sir. Can you share po ang checklist ninyo for lab chemical safety dahil parang kulang po ang safety protocol namin sa lab.
Sige, paki-emailan mo na lang ako dito sa yung email dito na sa slide na naka-flash ngayon.
Ayun. Email mo yung
account.
padala yung listahan and then dadagdagan. Saan ba galing ito? Si Rosie Tejones. Saan ka ba naka-lugar? Are you UST, LaSalle, or UPLB o hindi? Si Biswa. Central Visayas daw siya. Okay, very good. So, ayan pa. Yun din, Neil.
Pisay
Hindi lang sa
graduate.
Manila ang tulungan natin. Dapat pati sa regional. Kasi sa amin sa USAID, STRIDE, we form the Regional Inclusive Innovation Councils, mainly to be the focal points in their cities. Cagayan de Oro, Davao, Sultan Kudarat. Lahat yan binibisita namin. Kapag umuwi ka na ng tuluyan, lahat yan papupuntahan natin. No? Pati yung cacao production, coffee production, nuts and coconut, lahat yan kailangan may safety assessment. Okay ba?
Sige.
Yan, dadagdagan natin yan. So ikaw rin, Renil, pagtapos ka na dyan sa pagpapayaman mo sa Chicago, pag-retire ka na at meron ka ng pension, and then, asikasuhin natin lahat ng pharma at saka nutrition. Okay ba? Meron na tayo hopefully by then. Kasi I was just talking to my mentee in Iloilo who's producing 3D printed skin substitute for animal testing. And that's for biocompatibility testing. But we can steer that towards hazardous chemical testing as well. Yung presence ng isothiocyanates sa kamoting kahoy. There's a stage in the growth of kamoting kahoy that it's poisonous. Kailangan natin malaman sa processing bago gawing kasaba na natanggal na yung cyanate. So again, Neil, that's another factor. Lahat ng top chemical killers natin dapat na-address ng PSM mo. Okay ba?
Isocyanate, yun yung
Kasaba, kamoting kahoy. Kasi problema namin yan sa UP Visayas. Meron kaming color-coded testing na developed ng professor. But I think it needs to be upgraded and with the proper processing assessment, especially if we go to full production for cassava, because we're also looking at it from a bioplastic applications together with UP Mindanao for biodegradable plastic. But if that isothiocyanate of cassava gets out during processing, baka may mamatay. Kaya kailangan tingnan. Okay? Alright. Sino pa may problema sa hazmat? Tanong na kayo bago matapos ang araw. 10 minutes to go. May hiya yata lahat. O, puro estudyante mo yata to, kaya takot sa'yo.
Hindi. Si Denise lang yung estudyante ko dito, mga bata na to eh.
Baka siguro.
Masyadong tahimik sila eh. Palaging nahihiyang magtanong.
Oo, alam ni Marge yan. O Marge, imbitahin mo na si Neil para naman masabi
Oh,
natin.
halika na Neil. Come to the US for the APAMS in July 18, 19. Ikaw Al, dumating ka rin dito.
Tingnan natin kasi
Yeah.
mukhang nahuhugot na naman ako kung saan-saan. And I don't know when the NAST, kasi our NAST
Kailan
focus
ba ang
now.
NAS?
Hindi ko nga alam. Usually around that time. July. Nag-absent
Well,
na ako
usually
ng dalawang.
this is later, July 18, 19. So, yeah.
Okay, I'll check the schedule. Kasi nag-absent na
Okay.
ako ng 2 taon sa NAST eh. Hinahanap na ako. Kasi ano raw, science-based and technology-supported industries. Ako yung proponent for industry. Kaya kailangan. Ayan, science, safety is part of being science-based, Neil. You're part of that agenda. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, very good. Very good. Because we are inviting the prominent speakers. So, we would love to see you here.
Okay, I will fix my schedule. I'll be in San Francisco in June. So if to mid, like ginawa ko sa Paase, I came home just in time for Paase.
Yeah.
But I hope I will be able to cover South Carolina before.
Yep, you should come here.
Okay, sino pa ba magtatanong dyan? Meron pa tayong 10 minutes bago mag-alas 10 ng umaga.
Yeah, we need some more questions from the Philippine attendees kasi palaging tahimik.
Yun nga eh. Binigyan ko na nga sila ng project. Yung mga nandyan na chemical engineer, pwede natin i-testing yung lambanog production sa buong Batangas at saka mag-process assessment pang PHA at yung ating alcohol, Nipahol production sa Don Mariano Marcos. Already funded for about 40 million for scale-up production. It needs a process safety assessment na in order to go full blast. Sinong gustong gumawa nyon? Magtaas ng kamay. Pag na-identify, tutulungan. Taas na ng kamay para matulungan kayo. Sinong gustong gumawa nun?
So siguro if many of you are students in UPLB, tas yung iba faculty siguro. Whenever you're doing experiments or doing research in your courses or in your thesis, please pay attention to your safety. Okay? Kasi yun ang palagi ko sinasabi. Ako nakapagturo ako sa IC, tapos kita ko dati pa lang hindi na yata gumagana yung fume hood doon eh. Saka yung safety shower, parang yung safety shower.
Baka wala ng tubig, baka nga walang linya eh.
Wala nga gusto
Pero routinely naman chine-check yun, di ba? Kasi kami...
Apat, pero hindi.
Yeah, meron kaming record every day or every weekly check for the fire extinguishers. We have to turn on the showers actually kahit bumabaha yung lab. And with the eye washes, everything has to be checked. May record. Otherwise,
yearly yata dito, Marge, sa amin. Sayang, wala si Gladys. Si Director, tanongin niyo, Director ng Institute yan. Ano dapat? Ano yung regs right now? Ano yung regulations for safety shower inspection?
So just to finish what I wanted to say. So pag nag-experiment kayo mga estudyante, pay attention to your safety kasi once you get injured or unfortunately pass away because of what you're doing. Na kahit na ganun kayo ka-passionate or ka-enthusiastic na magawa yung research nyo, the moment that you get injured or become unable to do your work, edi mawawala na yung capability nyo to do the research or the invention that you're working on. So, sabi ko nga kanina, nothing that you discover, invent, create, or operate is worth being hurt for. Okay? Pag nawala yun because of your enthusiasm to finish your research, to discover something great, invent something world-changing, the moment na may injure kayo, maglalaho na yung inyong pangarap. Okay? It's not something that perhaps the Curies and the Teslas of the world thought of at that time, di ba? Di ba si Marie Curie, namatay siya because of radiation. I think that doesn't justify what she went through kasi she probably would have come up with much better inventions or discoveries, di ba? Kung buhay pa siya sa atin at kasama pa natin. And for the faculty na nandito, maging cautious din kayo doon sa safety ng mga estudyante at ng sarili nyo because once may mangyari sa inyo, then lahat ng good intentions nyo to educate your students will be prevented by such injuries or such accidents.
Yep. At saka sa workforce, sa industry, guys, if you enter, my first job was with Johnson & Johnson in 1988. Pagpasok mo pa lang ng gate, nakasulat doon, safety profile, no workforce loss in so many work hours. Pag may aksidente, may nadulas, back to zero yan. Normally, pinagayabang na 10,000 work hours, no safety violation. So, ganun ka-importante ang safety sa industriya. So, the more that you have safety training, exposure, and even capability, as what Neil is teaching, you're more likely to be employable by industry, especially for chemical engineers. My first job was quality assurance in 1988 with J&J. And it's all about safety, ang first profile ng mga empleyado. Anybody else? I'm gonna close the session now. Kung wala na magtatanong. Are we all good? Maraming salamat, Neil.
Yeah,
And I think I will read the certificate of appreciation for your being our speaker today for the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering. Again, this is signed by Dr. Gladys Completo, our president. And I hope that this is not the end, but only a beginning of many more process safety management talks, seminars, training programs, and even a company advocating this for sustainability. Let it be considered by you para makauwi ka dito at may gagawin as a balik scientist. lahat ng industriya natin na magbabayad, process safety natin. Ay PPSM natin kung pwede. So, ayun lang. Maraming salamat again for everyone who actually spend the time with us. We look forward to your continued support and listening. Hopefully next week will be Aris Obando, one of our first scientist group that work with fellow scientist Joel Cuello in Arizona to look at the use of algal biofuel production. We even built a 1,000-gallon facility in La Salle in Laguna for this project 8 years ago. So we funded this. This is one of our first USAID STRIDE project funded in De La Salle as early as 2014. Kasi Gladys nga nasa Lasal pa nung panahon na to. But I hope you'll take the time again next week to listen to this talk.
December 6, Al.
December 6 pala kasi Thanksgiving kila March next week. So,
Yeah.
ay mga taga-Amerika. Okay
We'll be
lang.
eating turkey next week.
Yeah. Oh, yun. Magandang bakasyon. I was wanting to go to Peru on our Thanksgiving 20 years ago. But, and also save the date, 12/13. Friday the 13th in December for the, ano ba to?
Year-end event.
Weekend celebration. Pasko na. Sinta ko. Alas 9 ng umaga. Meron daw tayong party. Sabay-sabay yan. 3 na yata yung party ko. UP, NAST, at saka PAASE. In one day. Buti na lang yung Unilab Foundation ko sa Agis. Very good, very good. So we're inviting everyone who's been very supportive of our endeavors in PAASE to spread more science and technology and what it is good for. And hopefully, lahat kayo, ituloy ang ating pakikipag-usap sa mga eksperto katulad ni Neil today. And then we can continue to form teams actually to address local problems, especially in the regions where there are very, very few technical experts that support their particular ecosystems. So I appeal to you to continue your science education. It never ends. You can be a national scientist and still learning new stuff. And I think PAASE has been very, very good in disseminating such scientific knowledge. It's part of our work being risky, relevant, and impactful in sharing our knowledge to the youth. That's being risky. Pero tamang risky yun na Anil, hindi ka bibigyan ng points sa PSM yun. Yan ang sinabi ko kay Doc Luli Cruz, our national scientist. Time to continue being risky, to be relevant and impactful. Okay, yun lang. Anybody else?
One more thing, Al, yung
Yes.
second half ng slide is the save the date for APAMS 2025.
Ayun,
Kaya
yun nga
may
pala yung boarding
boarding
pass
pass
na
na
yun.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. That's July 18 to 19, 2025. You're all invited to come to the University of South Carolina. Okay.
Save the date at bumili na kayo ng ticket habang mura pa.
Yes.
May mga sales sa ano ngayon. May sale ang Cathay. So less than 1,000 I think on the East Coast.
Yep.
Maybe might be a worthwhile endeavor for a lot of our budding young scientists to get interacting with our PAASE members in America. This is a good opportunity for you. And Renil, taga Chicago ka lang, lumipad ka sa South Carolina. Okay?
We'll invite you, Neil. Mhm.
Okay. Punta ka na. Wala ka ng kawala. Huni ka. Nagpakita ka, asawa ka na. Okay? Galing Osaka ka rin, Neil. Mura ang ticket papuntang East Coast. Kaya mo yan.
Pag may work dyan sa South Carolina, baka punta ka.
Ayun. Itapat mo na doon sa date ng PAASE para makilala mo. At mag-member ka na rin ng PAASE kung hindi ka pa member.
Nominate natin.
Kayo rin. Ikaw rin, Renil. Para matuwa yung iyong tito. Kasi isa sa mga pillars ng PAASE yan, si Buds dati, nung buhay pa. Kaya tuloy mo yung kanyang ginagawa. Okay? Sige, yun na lang muna. Maraming salamat ulit.
Thank you.
Sa muli
Okay, thank
nating
you.
pagkikita.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Anybody
everyone.
else? Otherwise, I will sign off now.
Signing
Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. Good
Night.
morning.
Good morning to you all.